Stone Dogs 40k. This is a quick overview and review of the Zombicide 2nd edition box set. This one I acquired through a friend at an enormous discount, so really quite happy to have got hold of this because I've had my eye on this game for several years now. So yeah, gonna have a look at the box, have a look inside and see what we think. Okay, so opening the box, rulebook is first. This is a very nice, very good quality rulebook. Really impressive. It's all full colour all the way through, got some really clear instructions, gives you all the detail on the game elements and the maps and the missions, etc. So yeah, really good rulebook, that one. Makes me kind of slightly reminiscent of 2nd edition Warhammer 40k with this cheat sheet on the back. Underneath the rulebook is the main box, or the main part of the box. Just pop that to one side. So this contains all of the plastic game elements and the cards, etc. So you can see here you've got cards for your characters. I think there's 12 in there. There's the game cards, which include weapons and zombies and event cards, etc. Set of dice, set of coloured rings to identify the heroes, set of pegs to use on the dashboards, which are just here. There's 6 dashboards in total. Place for the character card in the centre, and then cards on either side, and then cards across the back here with peg holes for the different trackers. And then in the bottom of this box you've got all of the miniatures. So you've got the orange heroes, there's 12 of those, and then abominations, runners, which are zombies that can move quite quickly, and then there's another layer underneath which gives you all of the standard walkers and the I can't remember what these ones are called, but there's a sort of a walker, and then a runner, and then these ones, whichever they are, can't remember what they're called. Abominations, are they? No, I'm not sure about that. Fatties, that's right, they're called fatties. There's 16 of those, and then 4 abominations in the top there. So that's the contents of the plastic box. Just going to pop that to one side for a second. So one of the things that you do get with this box is you get some free content, which is nice. So this QR code takes you to the Come On website, and from there you can download some free missions, some single player missions, and a small 3-game 3-scenario campaign, which is quite nice. I have downloaded those, haven't actually printed them out yet, but they're pretty cool. And then this bit is the bottom of the box, and in here you've got all of the tokens. So you've got, these are double-sided, you've got police cars on this side with the spawn tokens and the active player token, and then you've got closed doors of different colours all the way around the outside. And then on the other side they're basically double-sided, but the vehicles obviously are different. This is a Cadillac on the back of the police car, and then you've got open door tokens on the backs of all of these ones, and these are colour coded depending on certain mission parameters. And then you've got another sheet which has got weapons crates, which are these ones, and then objectives, and then sound tokens, and again these are all double-sided. And then in the bottom you've got 9 of these double-sided game boards, which you use in various configurations to make up the games. Now these are all coded, so you can see in the corner 2R there, and that will correspond to a mission, and the mission will tell you which ones of these boards to use and how to set them up. So they're all coded differently. This one is 2R, and then this one you can see is 1R, so it gives you quite clear instructions, and then it also shows you on here where to place your tokens, and then doors obviously here, etc, etc. So good quality card, relatively thick. You can see there it's a reasonably thick card. So yeah, should be quite robust, I think. So that's a quick overview of what's in the box. Now, one of the things that actually came with this that my friend actually gifted to me was this, which I believe is first edition Zombicide. But I saw it and I thought, wow, I get an expansion as well. Which, yeah, was very kind. So I thought I'd open this as well and show you what's inside. So first of all, quick look at the back of the box. So this one is called Toxic City Mole. You can see it's got quite a large selection of heroes or characters, and then a load more zombies. Now it's supposed to have 43 minis inside, 4 survivors, 10 zombivores, 4 toxic fatties, 8 toxic runners, 10 toxic walkers, 1 toxic abomination, 4 game tiles, 56 new cards, 10 double-sided survivor cards, 48 tokens, and another first player token. So it's got quite a lot of content. Let's open it up and have a look. So when I opened this box for the first time, I didn't know what to expect. So I kind of was expecting a rule book, but I'm actually faced with these, or this game board. Now, if I take these out, just put that box to one side for a moment. It's actually quite heavy. It's probably about 1 kilo. And actually, this is not a complete expansion. What there are in here is an 11 additional double-sided game boards. So this with the base set gives me 20 double-sided game boards. So these are all, as I said, these are all first edition, and you can tell because the numbers on the boards that identify them are a lot bigger than the second edition ones. Second edition ones are just tiny down in the corner down here. So 11 more boards, which is crazy. So I think what's happened is somehow my my friend has managed to mix up his sets and has probably got a bit confused about what goes in what box. So anyway, there's 11 more boards. Quite a few options there, which is good. But then in the box, painted minis. So there's another set of dice. There's some of these things which are the sliding trackers that go on the first edition dashboard boards, because the first edition ones were cardboard and then these would clip on the side and just slide along. There's also an open wadge of cards, and again, I don't know that these are 100% correct for this edition or for this box, but you know, gives me some options, so that's good. But then, yeah, look, there's a whole host of painted minis, and I think, looking at what's in here, this is correct for this box. So there's 4 of these guys. The heroes seem to be mixed in, so there's one hero just here. There's another one just here. I'm not sure if that's a hero. I think that's a hero. Where else? Yeah, I think there's another one somewhere. Where did I see her? There. This guy, this lady just here. So there's heroes dotted around in this box as well. So what I need to do really, oh, and another guy down in the corner, just down here, look. So yeah, it's nice to have these painted. And then this horrible beast. So yeah, so it wasn't actually a complete expansion, which I'm both disappointed about and actually quite happy about all at the same time. So it gives me an opportunity to actually kind of start playing straight away, because if you know kind of my history, then you'll know that I don't or can't or won't or find it quite difficult to play games with unpainted minis, just from a kind of an immersive perspective, really. So yeah, so there you go. That's a really good result. I'm really pleased that I've managed to get hold of this. So we're going to do some gaming. So keep your eyes peeled, and that'll pop up next. So the core rulebook comes with 25 missions, but you actually get a training mission, which is a tutorial mission, this one here, which is M0, Mission 0. Now, I've set this up on the table, so what you've got here is you've got 2 boards. The missions tell you which boards to use, so you've got 1V and 3V. Shows you how to put them together, and then tells you how to set up the board in terms of spawn points, the exit point, the heroes starting point, and any objectives and crates, weapon crates, etc. that go on the board. So we've got here 2 boards for this this tutorial. You've got the main spawn point, which is the numbered one. That one always spawns first, and then there's a secondary spawn here. Some of the larger boards, if you have a look at this one's got 9 boards in it. You've got the primary spawn here, and then you've got 2 other spawns on this board. This board also has 4 zombies set up on it, so you've got 2 walkers, this one and this one, a runner, this one, and a runner basically gets 2 activations instead of 1, and then a brute which goes here, and the brute basically has 2 wounds instead of 1, so it's harder to kill. And then you've got the hero starting point, which is just down here at the exit tile. So I've set that up just here. Here we are. So we've got our 4 heroes down here. Now the game is set up so that you can play with 6. I've only set up 4 just purely because A, they don't really fit there if there's 6 of them, and B, this is just a tutorial anyway, so I just want to get a feel for the game and see how it plays. So we've got our 4 heroes there. I'll come back to those in a second. You've got 2 standard walkers, one here and one here. You've got the runner just there. You've got the brute just there. Spawn point, primary spawn point, and then there's 2 objectives and 2 weapon crates. So objective number 1 is here, weapon crate. Objective number 2 is over here with a weapon crate. Okay, so heroes. So I've got 4 heroes on the board, identified by their yellow colours and on the rings on their bases. These basically just literally stand in there, so depending on what colour you prefer, you can swap them around. Each colour on the base refers to the colour of the pins on their dashboard. So you've got Ned, who's the yellow guy. Ned has, what's he got? He's got a free search action. So as you kind of kill aliens, your adrenaline points will increase along this track down here, and as you move from blue into yellow through killing more aliens, too much Gale Force 9, move into the yellow, you would then move your marker down to here, so you'd get 1 additional action. And then you go into the orange. As you kill more, you get what's that, 1 range die, 1 plus 1 range die. So you always start in the blue and work your way up as you accrue adrenaline points. You always start on 3 wounds. If you ever get to 0, you're dead. If any hero gets to 0 wounds, the game is over. So it's very important that you manage your tactics accordingly. We've then got in the green, we've got Josh. Josh has a different starting action, which is slippery. Slippery basically means you can dodge past the zombies without interacting with them at all. But again, we've got 3 wounds and starting on 0 on the adrenaline. I'll come back to these cards in a second. We've then got Amy, who's in purple. Amy's first sort of free action is a free move action. So she gets an extra move, which is great. Again, 3 wounds, starting on 0 on the adrenaline track. And then we've got Doug. Doug is in red, so Doug is this guy just here. And Doug has something called matching set. So matching set basically applies to the weapons that you carry. And in Doug's case, he's got 2 pistols, which means he can fire both of them, provided he fires them into the same board space. So you get basically 2 attacks for 1 action. So these cards are called the starting equipment cards. These are coloured grey, and these get divvied up at the start of the game. There's 6 in total, so if you had 6 players, then obviously you'd have 1 each. However, because I've only got 4 characters, they get divvied up accordingly. So I've just decided to give Ned the crowbar, Josh has got a pistol and a fire axe, Amy has got a baseball bat, and then Doug has got the 2 pistols because he's got a matching set, and that obviously makes sense. So in terms of the weapons, if we look at the baseball bat, for example, that's probably, actually, let's not look at that one, let's look at the crowbar. So the crowbar has got two sets of icons. You've got your attack icons down the bottom here, and then you've got your doors icon up here. And this is basically important because some weapons you can use to open doors if they're shut. Some will do that quietly, others will make sound, and if you make sound, obviously you've got more chance of attracting the zombies to your area. So every time you make a sound or use a weapon that makes a sound, you have to leave one of these tokens in the space that you are occupying, and that will stay there even if you move away until you make another sound somewhere else, obviously, and then that will obviously have an impact as well. So the crowbar is a silent weapon, basically, which is great. But if you look at, say, the fire axe is silent for killing zombies down the bottom here, but for opening doors it actually makes noise. So you have to really pick and choose what weapons you use to do what. So that's kind of basically an overview of where we are. So just another thing about these dashboards, you've got your in-hand cards which go here. You've also then got 3 slots for your backpack, which are the 3 up here. So for example, if you were carrying a, oh look at that, amazing, if you were carrying a submachine gun but you weren't using it, that would go into your backpack. If you then wanted to change one of your weapons out to use the submachine gun, that would cost you an action. Okay, so it's very important that you're using the actions effectively. Anything else I can tell you at this stage? Not really. There's just one other thing. There's 3 decks of cards. So there's the equipment cards, which are blue, and these ones you pick up as you search through the map. Oh god, there's the submachine gun. There's the zombie deck, this deck, which has zombie cards in it, obviously, and as you move into buildings, you will spawn zombies or spawn zombies on various areas of the board, and it will tell you what level you're at, how many zombies you get there. So this one, you can see it's walkers, so these are the basic zombies. And if you draw this card, you have to spawn 1 if you're at blue level on your adrenaline, and then 2 if you're on yellow, and then 4 if you're on orange, and then 6 if you're on red. So obviously the further up your adrenaline goes, the more zombies are going to spawn, which makes the game obviously much more harder and much tenser. Now there are some abomination cards in that deck as well, and I've actually taken those out purely because this is a tutorial game, and these are quite vicious, nasty, heavy-duty monsters. So just to make things a little bit less fraught and easier to control, I've taken those cards out. And then finally, we've got these cards. These cards are the cards that you draw if you find one of the special crates, the yellow ones. So that's a epic weapon crate, and this is an epic weapon card. Okay, this symbol here means that this gun needs to be reloaded every time it is shot. So if you shoot it, you then have to spend an action to reload it. So again, you have to be very, very careful about what you do and when you do it. Those are the cards. I've got a couple of, or a few noise tokens and a few door tokens ready for the game. Obviously the dice are just over here. So we're pretty much ready to go. Right, hello everybody, welcome back. So I've just set up for a quick run through of one of the missions from the rulebook. Now the rulebook holds 25 missions in total. However, there is also a training mission which just uses 2 of the boards, these 2 just here. This is mission 0 called Zombicide Life. So just to talk you through what's going on, so I'm only using 4 characters, these 4 here. So we've got a board set up. So we've got Ned, who's in green, just there. We've got Josh, who's in the orange, just here. And then Amy, who is in purple, just here. And finally Doug, who is in, sorry, Doug is in pink, Amy's in yellow. Amy's in yellow, so she's the girl with the sword just there. And then Doug is in pink, who's just at the back here. Now I'm using the painted minis from the first edition kind of half complete supplement that my friend gave me, just because I prefer using the painted minis. So excuse me if these aren't exactly what they should be in terms of what's on the card. However, we can identify them from the base ring. So they're all set up. We've got spare pegs up here. We've got the first peg in there, skills on here. So for example, Ned has got a peg in, 1 free search action and 3 wounds, starting at 0 on the experience tracker at the bottom, the adrenaline tracker I should say. Similarly Josh, he gets slippery and 3 wounds. Now one of the things that I just noticed about these is that the cards actually have the additional rules on the back. So for example, Ned has this rule, so shove once during each of their turns. The survivor may select a zone at range 1, sharing a clear path with the survivor's zone. All zombies in the survivor's zone are shoved to the selected zone. So for example, if Ned, who's the green base just here, was in this space and this zombie moved into this zone, he could use his shove action to shove that zombie back to that space. So that's quite a useful thing to know. And similarly, all of the characters have got an additional action like that on the back of their cards. So I'll try and cover those off as we go through. As I say, I'm only using the 4. Can use 6 if you're playing solo. However, I haven't got a huge amount of space on this table, and also I didn't want to make this too long a demo, so hence I'm just using the 4. So a couple of things to tell you. Number 1 is the way the board's set up. So you've always got an exit point, which in this case is down here, so they're starting and finishing at the exit point. You've got spawn points. You've got a primary spawn, which is the numbered one, and then a secondary spawn. So this one always spawns first, and then you go around the board depending on how many there are in sequence, in the order in which you want to do it. We've got objective markers, which are the red ones, and special weapon markers, which are the yellow ones. There's 2 of those, a couple more over here. And then on the board we start with 1 abomination, and then 1 runner, and then 2 walkers for the first turn. In terms of setting the board up, I'm going from the mission card down here so you can see how it's laid out, which is pretty much how I've got it. And then what else have we got here? Obviously got the dice, got some sound tokens, talk about those a bit more in a minute, some door tokens which are closed on one side and open on the other. And then we've got search tokens, spawn tokens, special weapon cards, and then these ones which are the starting weapon cards, or the starting equipment cards, and these get shared out amongst the characters at the beginning. So we've got a baseball bat. I'm going to give that to Ned, and then we've got a pistol which I'm going to give to Doug. Fire axe I'm going to give to Josh. Crowbar I'm going to give that to Amy. And then another pistol which I'm going to give to Doug. I'll go on to that in a moment. And then finally this pistol which I'm going to give to Amy. Now I've given Doug 2 pistols because Doug has something called matching set. A matching set basically means that he can use both of these weapons at once. Normally you can only use one or the other. However, with this skill, he can use both. So that's why he's got the 2 pistols. As I say, normally you'd have 6 characters, so you'd have 1 card each. However, just to kind of do a bit more of a demonstration of what the cards actually do, I've used them all for the 4 characters. Okay, so the object of this this mission basically is to take all the objectives and epic weapon crates. So we've got to get to both objectives, that one and this one, and then both objective weapon crates, and then get back through the exit over here. So we've got a brute, a runner, sorry, a brute, not an abomination. The abominations are slightly different. They're slightly larger and they look like this. So this is a brute, not an abomination. I do apologise. We've got 5 adrenaline points for each objective that gets taken. So your tracker will move 5 if you take that one. And then each epic weapon crate gives a random epic weapon among those still available to the survivor who takes it. They can then reorganise their inventory for free. So basically we've got these cards here. When they're taken by one of the characters, they get to draw from this deck, which is the epic weapons deck. Finally, one thing that I have done is the spawn deck just here also contains abomination cards. These ones. Now I've taken them all out purely because they're pretty full on, to be fair, and for a demo game I just want to give you an idea of what the game plays like. So when I get to a point where I'm doing mission 1, which is quite a bit bigger than this, I need my double table set up for that, so that will take place at some point in the future. Then we'll use all of the cards and see how that runs. So that's pretty much it. All the characters are ready to go, so let's get stuck in. So just a couple of things that I feel like I should mention. Number 1 is noise and noise tokens. So basically one of the things that attracts zombies is noise. Now each of these characters is worth 1 noise token each, so basically there's 4 noise tokens in this space. If they fire a weapon, they have to drop another noise token. If they break open a door with a weapon that, or with a piece of equipment that makes noise, such as the fire axe, you can see there it's got a noise token against the door opening icon, they would have to drop a noise token for that. So for example, all 4 of them move to this space. They broke open the door with a fire axe, and then one of them fires their weapon. That would be 6 noise tokens in total, although this would count for 4 and you'd have 2 additional ones in that space. Now this is important because the zombies will always move towards the loudest noise. So if the players have remained silent, for example, up until here, and then they created 8 noise tokens in that space, totaling 12, and then moved away, the zombies would continue to move towards this space because it carries more noise tokens than they are creating themselves, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does, but it just means that obviously you can create on larger boards, obviously it probably makes more sense, but you can create a bit of a diversion by making loads of noise and then moving away, so that the zombies all go towards that sort of set point, allowing you to continue on and hopefully complete your mission. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that some of the weapons are noisy for opening doors, and then some of them are silent for opening doors. Some of them are silent also for killing zombies. So again, if you're in a kind of a bit of a sticky sort of situation and you need to take a zombie out, sometimes it might be better to try using one of these silent weapons rather than a pistol, for example. That will obviously create noise. Okay, cup of tea at the ready. Let's go. Okay, so Ned is up first. Now Ned has a free search action as his first skill just here. As you move up through the adrenaline tracker, you'll acquire more skills. So just something to keep an eye out for. That's what the extra pegs are for. In terms of every character, every character gets 3 actions. and they can use those however they like. So they can move, they can search, they can shoot a weapon, they can attack, etc, etc. So Ned is going to use a move action to move into this square, and he is also going to, what's he going to do? He's going to move into this square, and then he's going to use his baseball bat to attack the zombie. Now you can see here he gets 2 dice and he needs to roll a 3+, which he does on 1 dice, so that's enough to take out that walker. Now, in terms of killing zombies, walkers and runners are worth 1 point on the adrenaline tracker. Brutes are also, I believe, worth 1 point. However, brutes take 2 wounds to kill. Now, you can't take 1 wound off in 1 turn and 1 wound off in the next. You have to take both wounds off at the same time. So certain weapons won't kill a brute. So a pistol only does 1 wound, so that won't kill a brute. However, a fire axe does 2 wounds, so that will kill a brute. Similarly, a Molotov cocktail, actually, if thrown, it's got a range of 0 to 1. If thrown into this sort of area here, will wipe out everything in that space. So that's quite useful if you've got a horde coming towards you. So basically, in terms of movement, each area within the pedestrian crossing counts as 1, and then each room counts as 1. So you wouldn't need to expend 2 movement to go from here to here, but you would to go from here to here. Okay, so yeah, so Ned's taken all his 3 actions. Now, one thing that he can do is do a free search action. However, I'm pretty sure you can't do that when you're out in the street. Yeah, so you can't do a free search action or any search action unless you are in a building. So, okay, so that's Ned's turn over. So then we're moving on to Josh. Josh's special skill at this stage is Slippery, which means he can move in and out of squares with zombies with no penalty, which is quite nice. So Josh gets 3 actions, and he is going to move 1, 2, and then he's going to stop. And he's going to stop there. He's not going to expend his last action, and he's just going to back up Ned. Okay, we've then got Amy. Amy's in yellow. Amy gets a free move action, so she's going to conduct a free move action to go to here. She's then going to use her crowbar for another action to open this door. So that's 2 actions. She's going to move inside for 3 actions. She's going to open this epic weapon crate for 4 actions, which gives her a gun blade. Okay, so you've got 2 options here. You've got the gun or the blade. One gives noise, one doesn't. You've then got this icon up here, which is the reload icon. So basically this weapon needs to be reloaded. You have to expend an action to reload the weapon. Okay, so because she hasn't got any space in her inventory, that really is, I mean, she could swap it into a hand, but she'd need to use an action to do that. So we're going to put it up there. These 3 slots across the back are your backpack, so you can store things in there as and when. Now, because Amy has moved into a building, we need to spawn. So basically, whenever you move into a building, all of the dark areas, as you can see, there are 2 dark areas here. This area is not a dark area, it's just normally lit. These get spawned. Now, you don't spawn in a space where there is a character, you only spawn in the spaces where there is not a character. So what you would do is draw a zombie card, and that will tell you, depending on where you are on your adrenaline tracker, and this is always the person who's got the most or the highest score on their adrenaline tracker, we're spawning 1 runner in that space. Okay, so runners are differentiated with 1 foot off the ground, like this fella. Okay, and he's going to just drop into that space. And then we go on to Doug's turn. So Doug has got matching set, 3 actions for him. He's going to go 1, just move her over a bit, 2, and then he's going to shoot into here, try and kill this runner. So if you look at his pistol, he's got 1 dice and hits on a 3+, causing 1 wound. However, he's got matching set, so he can fire both of those at once. He hits with both, but it doesn't matter because that's a 1 wound zombie. That zombie is killed. That is the end of his turn. However, he has created noise, so we need to drop a noise token in this room. So that is the end of the player turn. So the zombie phase goes in a specific order. We go through the activation stage, which is attack first, and then move, and then the spawn phase, where we spawn new zombies. So we're going to do the phases in order. Now, to attack, you need to be in the soul. The zombie needs to be in the same square as a hero, and there aren't any in the same squares as heroes. So that is skipped. We're not going to do the attack one, but we are going to do the move one. So basically, walkers move 1. So we're going to move 1 into this space here. Runners actually move 2. Now, runners move 2 if there are no intervening heroes. Otherwise, they move and attack. So they get 2 actions. So they could either move and attack if there's a hero in that space, or if they were already in the same space, they could attack twice. However, this one is going to have to move and then move, and they always move towards the closest hero figure. Okay, and the brute has 1 action, so he can move to there, and that's it. As mentioned earlier on, they'll always move towards either the player's characters or the area that's kind of making the most noise, depending on what's closest. Okay, and then once we've done all the moves, there were no attacks, so we've done all the moves, and then we need to do the spawn phase. Now, the spawn phase is pretty straightforward. We start with the primary spawn point, which is over here, and then we spawn onto that location by drawing from the deck, and we've got a walker rush. Okay, so we're still in the blue on the adrenaline trackers at the moment. So this is 4 walkers. However, a walker rush basically means they get an extra activation. So we're going to have to put 4 walkers on that space. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then they all get an extra activation. So they go 1, that one, that one, and that one. So the rush card basically means they get an extra activation. Okay, we're then going to do this spawn point, and we get another 2 walkers. These are delightful looking creatures, aren't they? There's 1 and 2. Okay, so once that's taken place, then we are done, basically. So that's the end of the zombie turn. We're now back to the player turn. Okay, so we're back to the players, the characters I should say, and Ned is in green. Ned is going to attempt to kill one of the zombies with his baseball bat. So he gets 2 dice, needs to roll a 3+, which he does on both. However, you can only kill 1 zombie, you can't kill 2. So we'll take away that one. He's then going to move. Now, when you're moving out of a square that contains a zombie, there is a penalty. Yeah, sorry, I just had to double check that rule. So basically, Ned's used an action to kill that zombie. If he wants to move out of this space, he has to expend an additional action to do so. So because he only gets 3, that basically means he's only got 1. So that takes him to there. And that is the end of Ned's turn. We've then got Josh. Josh has got the fire axe, so he's going to use 1 action to try and kill that zombie on a 4, which he does not. He's then going to use another action to try and kill that zombie on a 4, which he does. So that walker is dead. Well, it was dead already, but it's dead again. And then he's going to use his final action to follow Ned back to this space. Okay, we're then on to Amy. Now, one of the things that Amy has as a special rule, I believe, is she acts as a medic. So once per turn, for free, she can give her and all other survivors in the same zone 1 wound back. So that's good to know. So if any of the guys get injured by the aliens, she can again deny the aliens. It's too much time spent playing A Glorious Day in the Court. the zombies, she can give them a wound back provided she's in the same square, which is good. Anyway, currently she's in yellow and she is here, so she is going to move into this space for 1. That's a free one. She's going to open this crate. No, she's not. That's an objective. So she's going to take that objective. That puts 5 adrenaline on her tracker. And I also need to remember to move Ned and Josh 1 each for killing those 2 zombies. That's 2 actions. She's then going to no, it's not. It's just 1 action because she had a free move. She's then going to conduct a search for a free action. Ooh, nice. But a bit noisy. Oh, that's not going there, is it? It's going there. And then she's going to use her final action to move back out to here. That's the end of Amy's turn. So we've then got Doug, who is inside that room. Doug is going to conduct a search for 1 action. Oh, we got another submachine gun, lovely. He's going to conduct another search. Let me just check that. I'm not sure, but I think there might be a limit on how many searches you can do. Yeah, I thought that rang a bell. So you can only conduct 1 search per turn, regardless of whether it's a free one or not. Okay, so he's then going to move out to here for 1 and then move to here for his final action. Okay. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's going to stay there. And that will become apparent in a minute, because if he comes into contact with this brute, the brute needs 2 wounds to kill, even though he's got 2 pistols. These pistols only cause 1 wound each, and you need a weapon that causes 2 wounds, like this one. So, okay, something else that should happen that I completely forgot about was at the end of the zombie phase, you move into something called the end phase, and in the end phase you should take away all current existing noise tokens. So I missed that one. Apologies. So we're now into the zombie phase, and again, because there's no zombies in any spaces with characters, then there's no attack actions taking place. There's no runners on the board at the moment. They're all either brutes or walkers, so they all get 1 activation, which basically means they're all going to move. So he's going to come down to this space. These 2 are going to move down here. These guys are going to move over to here. around that spawn point because we'll need to draw cards in a second. Just straighten that one up. So that's all the movement, and then we're going to spawn. So again, starting with the primary spawn point, and we get 3 walkers on that one. 1, 2, 3, and then the next spawn point we're going to get 4 walkers on that one. Good job I left all that space. 1, 2, 3, and finally 4. There we go. So you can see that the board can fill up quite quickly. We've now got 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 walkers on the board and 1 brute. It'd be quite easy to imagine with an additional spawn point or 2 that actually you could run out of zombies quite quickly. So it's actually probably good that I've got these additional ones, because they're going to come in quite handy. Okay, so once we've spawned, we then go into the end phase, which means if there are any noise tokens, we need to pick those up, but there aren't actually any noise tokens anywhere. So that's the end of the zombie phase. We're now going back to the player phase. So before we do move into the next player phase, one thing I didn't do was draw a spawn for this dark room over here. So, 6 walkers. Wow. Right, have we got 6 left? 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. That's a runner. 6. Wow. Yeah, that compounds what I've just said about the number of zombies in the box. So there's now, what have I got left? I've got 2, 4, 5. I've only got 5 painted walkers left. Wow, that filled up pretty quickly. Right, okay, player turn. Okay, straight back into the player phase, and Ned is up first. So Ned is going to move into this building for 1. He's then going to conduct his free search, which gives him the machete, which is important. That can go into his hand. He's then going to come back out of that building for his second action, and he is going to stop right there. That's the end of Ned's turn. So he's not going to use his third action, because to do so he's either got to move into this room with all of these zombies, or he's got to move into this space and then can't fight. So he's going to just stay there. We've then got Josh. Josh is next. Josh is going to move into this square for 1 action. He's then going to attack that brute with his fire axe, because he can do 2 damage. So he needs to roll 1 dice and get a 4, which he does not. He's then going to use his third action and do that again and try and hit the right for the brute, and he doesn't. So that could be an issue. That's the end of Josh's turn. We're then looking at Amy. Now Amy is up the top there. She gets a free move action. So what we're going to do with Amy is we're going to conduct a search. Okay, so she gets plenty of shells. Now what this means is all attacks with shell weapons can be re-rolled once. The new roll takes the place of the previous roll and may be used in the backpack. Now she hasn't got any shell weapons, but that would be like the shotgun, for example. So that'll go in her backpack. So that's one action. She gets a free move to there. She gets another free move. No, she doesn't, sorry. She gets a free move to there, so that's 2 actions used. And then she's going to... oh dear, this is a tricky one, isn't it? So she's got 2 actions left. So she did a search for 1 action. She did a free move. She's got 2 actions left. She's going to move to there. And then she's going to move into that building, which basically means we need to do a draw for those 2 squares. Right, so walker rush. So we get 2 walkers going into that space there. 1, 2, and they automatically activate. So they're going to go 1, 2, and then we've got to draw for this space as well, and we get 3 walkers. Now, have I got enough? 1, I'm not sure that that is a walker. 2, and we'll go with this one. 3. Okay, so that's Amy's turn over, and then we're into Doug. So Doug is in purple down here. Just need to check something. Okay, so Doug is going to trade 1 of his pistols with Ned for 1 action. If we can get that out of there. And he's going to trade that for the machete. That's 1 action. He is then going to move into this space for his 2nd action. He's then going to attack that brute with the machete, which does 2 wounds, so he needs to roll a 3 on 1 dice, which he does. So he does actually kill that brute, which is lucky. Okay, so that means that Doug now needs to move up 1 on his adrenaline tracker, and that is the end of the player phase. Right, so we're heading into the zombie phase now, and poor old Amy has found herself in a bit of a predicament down here. So basically what happens with zombie attacks is they basically auto-hit. So there are 2 zombies in that space with Amy. They're both going to hit, which means her tracker immediately drops down by 2 wounds. So she's going to drop down to 1. That's their activation, because they only get 1 activation each, and then everything else is going to move. So basically these 3 are going to move into the same space through that doorway. 1, 2, and 3, and then everything else is going to move 1. So these are going to move down into this space. These ones are going to all move down, and this is where searching the rooms really comes in handy, because there are things like Molotov cocktails, as I say, that you can throw from this square into this square, and a Molotov cocktail will auto hit this square and clear the whole square out. So really handy in this sort of situation. Unfortunately, I don't have a Molotov, so that's not going to happen this time round. And then these guys are going to move 1, 2, and 3. So we've done our attacks, we've done all our moves. No, we haven't, because these guys have got to move as well. So these guys are going to move out into this room. So you can see quite clearly that it is pretty intense very, very quickly. So now we've got to do the spawns. So we get a walker rush on the primary spawn. So we're going to have to use this lady, who's actually not a zombie, I don't think, but anyway, she's going to spawn and then move. And then we've got 4 more walkers that have got to spawn there. Now I'm actually out of walkers pretty much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these and just put a 4 there. Okay, that is it, I think. Yeah, so one of the things I think I might have got wrong is actually you only spawn in the dark rooms on the first time that you go into the building. So once you're in the building and those spawns have occurred, there will be no more spawns. So if you go into a building, you spawn and then you move out. When it comes to spawning the next time round, those rooms do not respawn. Okay, so I think I might have done that wrong over here with these ones, but you know, suffice to say, you know, this gives us a good opportunity to see what it's like when it gets really, really busy on the board. So that's the end of the zombie phase. It's players phase next. So Ned is going to move into this square. He's then going to use his baseball bats to try and take out one of the zombies. So he gets 2 dice and rolls a 3, so takes 1 out. I'll put that guy up there and then change that to a 3. And then he's going to use his baseball bat again on the other guy, on the other zombie. And again, rolls a 3. So we'll move that guy up to there, change that to a 2. So that's cleared out that space quite nicely. So that's his 3 actions used. Then we've got Josh, who's down here. Now Josh I think is going to, what's he got? He's got a fire axe, and he only gets 1 dice and he has to roll a 4. Right. I think Josh is going to have to try and do some support work with Amy over here. So Josh is going to move in for 1 and then use his fire axe. Hopefully we'll roll a 4. Ooh. Which he does, so that's good. So that takes out 1. Move him up there. Change that to a 1. And then he's going to use his 3rd action to again try and roll a 4, which he does. So he takes out another 1. So there, I'll take that dice away. So we've now got our 4 spawned up there. So that's Josh done. And then we've got Amy, who's in yellow now. Amy, once per turn, can recover a wound. So she's going to do that first. Puts her back up to 2. And then she's going to use one action to hit with difficult. I think she's going to use her pistol, so she's going to do 2 shots with her pistol. Hopefully she'll roll 2 3s. which she does. So she takes out 2 more of these walkers. Okay, she also has a free move action, which she's going to use to get away from that zombie, like so. Okay, and then we've got Doug. Now Doug is in purple. So Doug is going to move into the building, use his machete on that zombie. So he needs to roll a 3, which he does. So he kills that zombie, and then he is going to uncover that crate for his 3rd action, which means he draws... Oh no. Place a walker in the zone, then discard this card. Oh. Okay. There. Okay, that's the end of Doug's turn and the end of the player turn. So before we do move on to the zombie phase, just worth mentioning that Amy, having killed more zombies, has now moved into the yellow portion of her adrenaline tracker. So basically now it means when we spawn zombies, we're looking at, if I go back to one of the previous cards, we'll be looking at the yellow section rather than the blue section, which means more zombies. However, she does get an extra action as well. So that will help her out, hopefully. Okay, so we're now looking at the zombie phase. So it's attacks first. So basically this zombie here is the only one that's in the same space as a hero. So it's going to attack. We're going to put the attack on to Doug because he's closest. So Doug automatically loses 1 wound, puts him down to 2. Okay, and then we're looking at the movement of the rest of these guys. So poor old Ned is going to get swamped, basically. So these guys are all going to move down into this section at the bottom. This is where having a Molotov would come in really handy. We've got these ones that are going to move out into the street. These are all going to move down 1. These are all going to move across to there. Okay, that's all the movement done, and then we're going to spawn. Okay, so walker rush, we've got 3. One, 2. It's going to have to be her. That's actually a hero character, but anyway. And then 1, 2, 3. And then for this spawn point, another 3 walkers. So again, I've run out of walkers, so we're going to pop a dice in there to show 3. Okay. Just looking at the zombie rush cards. Yeah, so it's only the zombies that are placed by the zombie rush card that perform the zombie rush. It's not every zombie on the board. Right, okay, so that's the end of the zombie phase. Back to the players. Right, okay, so we're back to the player turn. We are surrounded here. Ned's surrounded. He's got 2, 4, 6, 8 walkers in that space with him. Now, Ned has something called shove as a free action. So on the back of his card, you can see there it says once during each of their turns the survivor may select a zone at range 1 sharing a clear path with the survivor's zone. All zombies in the survivor's zone are shoved to the selected zone. That's a free action. So basically what you can do is you can shove all of those zombies either there or there or there. So what he's going to do is he's going to shove them all into that space like so. Actually, you know what? I've just had a thought. So this is a free action, okay? So this shove is a free skill that he can use. So he still gets his normal 3 actions. So actually, what he's going to do is he's going to attack those zombies with his baseball bat. So that's 1 gone. That's 2 gone. That's 3 gone. And then he's going to use his shove and then shove them all back into that space. So that is the end of Ned's turn. Now he's killed 3 zombies. So 5, 6, 7 puts him in the yellow. So he then gets a free action for his next turn. Okay, so what I'm going to do with those 3 walkers there is put them in up the top there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's then Josh's turn. So Josh has Slippery and Lucky. Lucky means he can re-roll a dice basically, so if he misses at all it's good for him to be able to re-roll that. So he is going to swing his fire axe at this zombie, so he gets 1 dice and needs to roll a 4+, which he fails. He's going to do that again and he gets it this time, so that's 2 actions. That zombie is off the board. His final action, he is going to conduct a search. Oh, I've been hoping for one of these. Okay, so the Molotov is a 1 range total annihilation weapon, so it basically will clear out a whole section of the board. So that's going to go into his hand just there. Okay, and then we've got Amy, who's in this room here. Amy gets a free action where she can give a wound back. So she's going to give a wound back to herself. That puts her back up to 3. And she's going to give a wound back to Doug, who's... Oh no, she can't, because Doug's not in the same space. So that's her free action. She also gets a... She's going to pick up that objective. So that costs her 5 adrenaline points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She then gets a free move action, so she's going to move to there. She has 1 more. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, she gets 1 more action. So she is going to move back outside to support Ned. Okay, we've then got Doug, who's in purple. So Doug is going to perform a search. Another Molotov. Excellent. So he is going to swap this out with his pistol. He's going to basically get his pistol, oh, excuse me, he's going to put his pistol back in his backpack, like so. Ooh. And he's going to have his Molotov in hand. And then he is going to move back out to here. And then for his final action, he is going to throw his Molotov cocktail into this square. So basically, the Molotov, you lose it from your hand, but you eliminate all actors in the targeted zone. So basically, it will clear out that whole zone right there, which relieves a huge amount of pressure on our team of heroes, like so. So that is the end of the player phase. Now we need to put a noise token there because of the Molotov, and next it is the zombie turn. Okay, so we're now back into the zombie phase and we're in the movement phase. So we are going to start by moving all of our zombies their respective distances. They're all walkers, so they're all going to move one space. We've got nothing in attack range, so the attack part of the zombie phase is done. So movement is next. So all of these guys will obviously move into this square. These guys will also move one space. These guys will then move. And then we will do the spawn. So we're going to spawn the primary objective, primary spawn point first. Now we're on yellow, so we've got 2 walkers. And then the second spawn point is a extra activation for all walkers. Now this is a bad sign. So basically it means that all walkers on the board get 1 extra activation. Now the thing is with this is the attack phase has already happened. However, these guys down here aren't going to move again, so that to use their extra activation they've actually got to attack. So this is going to mean all of these zombies here are going to move into this space. The 6 that were already there are going to attack. They're basically going to deal 6 damage to these 3 characters, which is fine for Ned, because Ned's on 3 wounds, so he will drop down to 1. We've got Josh, sorry not Josh, we've got Amy in yellow, who's at 4 wounds, so again she will drop down to 1. However, Doug, who wasn't in the same square as Amy when she did her healing in the last round, is only on 2 wounds, which means that he will drop down 1, 0. So Doug is now dead. Now the thing is with Zombicide is that in the base game, if one of your characters dies, the whole game is over. So it's a basically one dies, all die situation. Now, if, for example, Doug had been on 3 wounds, let's just see what would have happened. So he would have dropped down to 1 wound. And that would have been the end of the zombie turn. We then would clear out that noise token. So we're going to assume that this game is over. Basically, this game is over because Doug has been reduced to 0 wounds, so the whole party are now dead. However, just to see what would have happened, we're going to move Doug back up to 1 wound and just play this out to the end. Okay, so we've got Ned first in the player turn. So Ned has got shove. Now, believe it or not, shove means he can shove all of those zombies back one space. So he's going to do that. That's a free action. Ned is then going to move 1, 2, and off the board. Josh is next. Josh is over here. So Josh is going to go 1. He's then going to throw his Molotov into that square. That clears out all of those zombies in one go. And then he is going to move 1, 2. Amy, who's in yellow, is basically going to move. She gets some free move action anyway. 1, 2, off the board. And then finally Doug gets 3 actions. 1, 2, and off the board. That is the end of the player turn. So I've just checked the mission rule for the introductory mission, and basically the characters literally have to reach this exit tile. They don't need to move off the board. As long as there are no zombies in this tile, that's game over. So rewinding a little bit, when we were up here and we had this whole area full of zombies, that losing that one extra wound that poor old Amy couldn't heal because she was in the wrong room, that cost us the game. And they were literally 2 spaces from home. So it's really, really fine in terms of success and losing. So you've got to be really, really careful about where you move your characters and who they're with. As they say in role-playing games, never split the party. And that is a key indicator of why you shouldn't really do that in this game. I didn't play with abominations in this one purely because I wanted to just run through a brief introduction, but what I will do over the coming weeks and months is start playing through the main mission pack in the rulebook, and also the the free content that comes with the QR code from the Cool Mini or Not website. So look out for that. Thanks for watching. If you are new to my channel, this is all for non-profit. I'm not going to monetize this channel. It's all just about me having fun and hopefully playing some good games. So yeah, so like, subscribe, and I'll see you all real soon. Thanks.